Today, Bungie is giving the community a sneak preview of one of the 3 new subclasses coming to D2 in Beyond Light this November. First one up is the Shadebinder Warlock, and although Bungie's Twitter account used mostly old footage that we've already seen before, the majority of the new info today is found on Bungie.net. Let's go ahead and go over both what Stasis is going to focus on in-game, and then what the Warlock brings to the table. Okay, Stasis is the first new elemental power to Destiny since the original trio of Arc, Solar, and Void, and Bungie has plans to make it both customizable as well as having each class use their new abilities in unique ways. According to new info, Stasis is the element of control, a power that is less about outright smashing and aggression, and more about careful control of enemy combatants and space. Most gameplay footage we've seen so far supports that narrative, aside from the Titan, so it's all coming together. Stasis can manifest in multiple ways, including freezing or slowing down the movement of enemies, creating crystalline stasis structures, and shattering combatants who have been frozen. The range of options gives players more ability to control large-scale fights than ever before. Apparently, the new Warlock Shadebinder is the perfect embodiment of freezing enemies. The Shadebinder can summon a Stasis Staff that fires projectiles which can freeze opponents immediately, rendering them immobile. The Shadebinder's melee ability, which apparently is called Penumbral Blast, is a quick burst of energy that pops out of your staff and instantly freezes anyone on contact. From there, the Warlock can either deal with frozen enemies or leave them where they are, where I'm sure they will thaw out after a certain amount of time. Alright, if we're reading all of that correctly, that means that the footage we have seen of the Warlock shooting quick little orbs out of their Stasis Staff, that is a melee ability. If that is true, I am immediately going to begin hoarding armor between now and November that focuses on strength. I don't know about you, but the ability to freeze enemies on melee alone sounds kind of wild for PvP. Definitely count on me running builds with Claws of Ahamkara, guaranteed. The only way this new ability could potentially be bad would be if the little orbs you melee out move very slowly, i.e. slow enough to outrun. If that's the case, the build sounds like it would probably be much better for PvE. Either way though, sounding very strong on paper right now. If you want to combine freezing enemies with immediately destroying them, then look no further than the Shadebinder super Winter's Wrath. In their super, the Shadebinder summons their big icy staff and fires projectiles that immediately freeze opponents. The second part of the attack comes when your Warlock raises up the staff, detonates it, and sends out a shockwave that absolutely destroys nearby frozen opponents. We have seen footage of that in action with the original preview, and it looks devastating as all hell. Let's move on though to a new customization feature Bungie dropped on their website as well. From Bungie.net. With Beyond Light and the new element Stasis, we're giving you even more flexibility to customize your subclass to your style of play. Each Stasis subclass in Beyond Light will give players the ability to customize abilities like grenades, movement modes, class abilities, and so on. In addition, they're adding new layers of customization with the addition of aspects and fragments. Aspects manifest as physical items in the world. On paper, they kind of sound like artifacts 2.0. When equipped onto your Guardian, aspects will offer players new abilities among other effects. These abilities can be mixed and matched freely by you, the player. Many aspects will have room for fragments to be slotted in. When slotted into aspects, fragments will offer additional passive perks like a stat bonus that may come with penalties. Aspect upgrades are unique to each Stasis subclass, while fragment slots are class agnostic. How players combine these two different types of upgrades will lead to a range of new customization options. Here's the example Bungie goes on to give. A Warlock finds a Frost Pulse aspect in the world and equips it onto their Guardian. The aspect augments their Rift ability, which now freezes any enemy caught in the field. The Frost Pulse aspect also has a fragment slot available, allowing more customization. The Warlock decides to slot in the Whisper of Refraction fragment that replenishes some of their class ability energy upon shattering an enemy. The Warlock has now set themselves up with a nice little 1-2 combo. So again, to recap, aspects are class specific, meaning that there are gonna be aspects that only Warlocks can use, aspects that only Titans can use, and aspects that only Hunters can use. They're class specific because they give class specific bonuses, like the Frost Pulse one Bungie mentioned that improves a Warlock's Rift ability. Fragments are not class specific. Fragments can be inserted into aspects to allow further customization. The Warlock in Bungie's example slotted a fragment into their already equipped aspect, which went on to give them the extra bonus of getting more super energy when killing a frozen enemy with a gun. So aspects are class specific, fragments are not, and fragments are inserted into aspects on your Guardian. Bing bang boom. There's no word yet on how many aspects will be allowed to equip at any given time. From the screenshot posted on Bungie.net, there seems to be options for multiple aspects on one Guardian. Also from the screenshot, it seems to be clear that any aspect can apparently hold more than one fragment. Also, at the time being, there appears to be a minimum of 6 fragments, each indicated by a unique icon, but I'm sure that by the time we get to November, we'll probably learn that there are many more. I really like the direction that Bungie is taking in terms of allowing more Guardian customization moving into Beyond Light. We're apparently going to be leaning more and more into the RPG side of D2, and for the time being, I think it's a good call. A fresh, new direction for Year 4, and I'm eager to see what else is going to get brought to the table in Beyond Light. Bungie mentions that later this week, they're going to be previewing the newest Titan subclass, the Behemoth. Hopefully they also provide additional new class info like they did today with aspects and fragments. Either way, click the notification bell on here on the old channel. That way you'll know right away when I put out my video featuring all the important stuff that they eventually mention about the Titan Behemoth. Please remember to click the like button, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Both go a long way in helping me out. Before the video ends, I'm gonna let the secret Bungie B-roll footage from their press kit play, which if you haven't seen it already, includes additional gameplay footage from the other 2 subclasses yet to come. More Beyond Light info on the way as usual, and I will catch you next time.